So, who was going to tell me that elemental defenses were so cooked? It's amazing. So, background context. About a week ago, someone made a constructive feedback post on the Wynncraft Discord. Going over to it, it is titled, Consider adding an elemental weakness to TCC and TNA. Now, this post generally goes over the idea of putting elemental weaknesses on certain endgame bosses. Now, just for framework, on Wynncraft, mobs can have defenses or weaknesses to specific elemental damages, some being more effective than others. In this case, it's to encourage certain builds and build diversity. It was received with extreme unhappiness, let me just say that. 20 downvotes, which I feel incredibly bad for the poor guy about. You got Lumi, who handles raids, talking about how they will quote unquote, no, I'll never do that. And people started commenting about being able to abuse elements on raids. And I kind of went ahead and clocked this post by Neon. I love putting water powder on my GMA grandmother for free 100k extra DPS in Nexus of Light. Now, I like the sound of that, and I wondered, hey, what can I do with this information to further my own cause? And then I clocked who does have, a weakness to a certain element? Grootslang. What does Grootslang also give me? HPR raw tomes. I know exactly what my plan is now. First things first, to begin the cheese, I must first go ahead and find some fire damage items. Now, I don't know what the exact extent to elemental weakness that Grootslang actually has, but I'll basically go ahead and try and stack as much fire damage item as I can on my weapon. Now, first, I gotta pick the weapon, of course. Going through my bank, I had no interest in purchasing a whole fire wand just to test this out. But what I had ended up finding is this lovely wand called Cerberus. Now, some of you may recognize Cerberus. It is objectively considered an ass weapon, but I'm not spending Ellie on an experiment, so we are just going to get right on into it. And I decided to stick with Arcanist for this one, just because a couple of ideas here. One, the major idea on Cerberus relies on you having a burning sigil, so we got to keep that. And I don't know if I want to play Riftwalker for this one. I'm more comfortable in Arcanist. Two, the more hits you do whenever you're abusing elemental defenses, the better. Because elemental defenses isn't like a percentage increase in damage. It's a raw amount of additional damage per instance. So if you do 1 fire damage and something has, say, negative 100 defense to it, that 1 damage is going to cause negative 100 defense. So you want to encourage as many hits as possible, which is also why you see Summoner being played in Nest of the Grootslang, because all those little puppets hit so much, even though they do so little damage, they can just blend down an entire worm to fish food, just like that. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to use Burning Sigil, we're going to use a lot of extra Thunderstorms, we're going to use plenty of Meteors and Ice Snakes, and we're going to keep everything cheap by using these Slayer Mythic Boots. Taking all this stuff, let's queue on in and see what we can actually do with this.
that's how we do it. Hopefully fire weakness and elemental defenses don't get tweaked or fixed before any big picture updates like Fruma. I'd love to get my HPR tomes before anything like that happens. But I think this kind of goes to show that even after playing Wynncraft for a while, I've been playing 8 years, there's always something relatively interesting to do, especially on the class building side of things as well. I encourage everybody to give it a shot, and like and subscribe. This is Frank Wynncraft for you. That right there is 2.1 million damage on the boss. Love that. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a good one.